Let's get to it. The build is completely based on lasers with some flexible combinations. For the primary, you can only really choose from two options, those being either the LAS-16 sickle or the LAS-5 scythe. Both of these weapons have light armor pen, meaning the choice of which one you use is really up to whether you prefer shooting a continuous laser beam or shooting a laser assault rifle. For the secondary, there wasn't really much choice besides the LAS-7 dagger, which also has light armor pen, which brings us to the potential problem. At this point, you can choose to stick it out and be the laser wielding Helldiver you've always wanted to be, or you can use a secondary that actually does something, like the P113 Verdict with medium armor pen or P4 Senator with heavy armor penetration. The grenade slot is really up to you in this build, since there isn't anything laser focused. I ended up switching between grenades based on which faction I was fighting. Illuminate, I preferred the G4 gas, bugs either of the two incendiary ones, and for bots I chose the G123 termite so that taking down tanks wasn't too much trouble. Now for stratagems. Orbital laser is the must have. This is your main stratagem to get you out of a sticky situation or to just clear out an objective in the fastest time possible. Try your best to not waste it on a single Bile Titan or tank, since you only have 3 uses of this stratagem for the entire mission. This doesn't mean keep all 3 uses until the end because you're scared of wasting it. Guard Dog Rover. This is a little dude that follows you around and just lasers everything it sees. It does decent damage and comes in useful to take down all the smaller enemies that might be swarming you. Laser Cannon or Quasar Cannon. This choice of support weapon comes down to preference. The Quasar Cannon, when aimed properly at weak points, one-shots most enemies and at most 2 shots. It overheats after every shot, leaving you without a heavy weapon until it's cooled down. On the other hand, we have the Laser Cannon that still has heavy armor pen and can be used as your primary weapon. You use it until it's just about to overheat, and then you swap to your primary weapon until that almost overheats and swap back. That's mostly how the laser build is played. You try to cycle between your 3 weapons constantly so that none of them overheat and you never have to reload, therefore losing ammo. For the 4th stratagem, I use the Orbital Gatling Barrage. It does high damage and has a low cooldown, which makes it perfect to take out tankier enemies without using Orbital Laser or when the Quasar Cannon is overheated. When it comes to armor, there isn't really a clean-cut better choice for lasers, so I ended up using the new Killzone armors since they have insane resistances with their Acclimator perk and just look really dope. As for boosters, I really only bounced between Localization Confusion so that I had more breathing time between enemy encounters and wouldn't get swarmed so often. And Experimental Infusion, making stims just a hell of a lot stronger with added damage resistances and a speed buff. There is no outstanding ship module that just makes the build extremely good. So if you have to choose which ship modules to upgrade to make it a bit better, I would try to put points into orbital cannons to help out the orbital laser and Gatling barrage, and engineering bay to buff literally everything else in the build like the guard dog, laser cannon and Quasar cannon. Now for a quick rank versus each faction. As you know, all testing is done as a solo in either difficulty 8 or 9. Versus the Illuminate, it did very well since you're mostly just against the Ruthless and the Overseers, which are both very easy to take down, and Harvesters weren't ever really trouble since you can one-shot them with a Quasar Cannon to the joints, giving it an 8 out of 10. Versus the bugs, it pulled its weight and was actually quite fun. The laser cannon would melt through everything, and the playstyle was very run and gun. You wouldn't really ever stand still since the time to kill isn't the fastest, but the infinite ammo makes it so that you're never really defenseless either. The biggest threats were probably only the Impalers, since taking them down while training a horde behind you isn't that easy, giving it a 7.5 out of 10. Versus bots, it was amazing. I highly preferred the laser cannon over the Quasar cannon, because it would insta-kill most heavy units including the hulks, guard towers and mortar emplacements when shooting at their weak points. You have perfect range capabilities versus all bots, giving it an 8.5 out of 10. Hope you enjoyed. If so, leave a like and a sub would be insane. See you next time.